Imagine earning crypto just by tracking planes overhead. No fans, no loud noise, and pretty much no electricity. This little device, the Wingbits WB200, is plug and play. It runs quietly and starts collecting real-time flight data and pays you out in Wing tokens for doing it. Let's dive into it. So what exactly is Wingbits? Well, let's have a bit of a read through some of the information here. It reads, Wingbits is a worldwide community of everyday individuals who receive rewards for monitoring aircraft real time with the help of the specialized equipment, that being the WB200s, this Wingbits unit we're talking about today. It says a global network creating the world's largest virtual map of the sky. So we can see here in the little screenshot, they've got all of the plane flights that are going around in different parts of the world, just absolutely crazy. And this sort of stuff is obviously useful for things like air traffic controllers, different companies that want to track, flight paths, speeds, all that sort of stuff. It's basically just gathering a whole bunch of data for air traffic controlling and flight times, all that sort of stuff. So currently this information is being tracked through other units, but the big issue is, as we can read through here, a lot of this sort of information is volunteer based, right? So people are setting up different types of units, little Raspberry Pis, and volunteering all that information for free. So while that's well and good, one of the big issues with that is, if you're not getting rewarded for something like this, it leads to complacency, giving a lot of sort of invalid and inconsistent information. So what Wingbits is doing very differently is it's paying you out in Wings tokens. So we'll have a bit of a read here. It says, Wingbits believes the volunteer-based exploitative model is broken. And I think we could all agree, there's going to be far more incentive for accurate information if people are getting rewarded for it. So I think that's a really good start. We have merged next-gen flight tracking hardware with blockchain technology to tokenize the data and reward contributors fairly and transparently. So this is the Wings token, like we have discussed. Our partners have developed custom hardware equipped with ADS-B functionality, allowing anyone to track aircraft and earn rewards based on their proportional contribution. So depending on your location and how much visibility of the sky you've got, you're going to get paid out in different amounts, but we'll talk a little bit more about that later. So if you're thinking this might be something you want to get into, you're going to have to know how to set this up. And there's a few little steps, but very easy. So let's go through that now. So the very first step will be to make sure that you've got a secure hex. So all of the different areas are mapped out by hexes, and depending on whether that hex is taken or not will determine whether or not this is something you can set up. So I see that as a bit of a bonus to this sort of setup, that you can only have a limited amount of people in a certain space. It's creating slightly less competition and hopefully more reward for everyone else. So we're over here on the Explorer, moken.io. I'll leave all the links down in the description for you. So you're going to come here and you're going to enter in your location. So for fun, we will use wings, whatever the first term that comes up. We'll enter an email. Let's go wings@gmail.com. Submit that. Sounds good. And if we scroll down here, we can see the hex is already occupied. So in this instance, you wouldn't be able to use this area. So let's try a different location now. Type in wings again. Let's pick this bottom one right here. And as we can see, it says you're safe to deploy in your hex. So this means that no one else has claimed this hex area yet. And if you were to buy one of these and set them up, this will be all yours to earn rewards from. So now that that is confirmed, you're going to want to set up an account. Now you can do this beforehand if you want. It's free. So we're over here on wingbits.com. Set yourself up an account, click on My Stations, and you'll go into register a new station. There's a few things to read above here. You can read through all that yourself. Click continue and you're in. So first thing you're going to do is set up an alias. Let's go wings22. Let's type in an address. That one's probably not going to work. Let's type in wings again. Let's pick this place. You're then going to click continue. Obviously, you're going to enter your own station address in, your street address where you're setting that up. You'll continue and you'll click register location. So that'll load up, get yourself all registered, and here it is. So once you're in here, you're going to need to click on it and you're going to need to purchase the miner itself. When you purchase that miner, it will give you an activation code and you can go in and link that right here itself. So it's going to enter the device secret number, which you'll be given when you purchase. Click link device and you are up and running. So once you have set that all up, ordered, and you receive your device, it's a very, very simple installation and it follows one simple rule. Get it as high as possible and get the best line of sight as possible. It comes with a really, really long 2-in-1 cable. I think it's 7 meters or so, maybe even 9 meters. So really, really long. It's got an Ethernet and a power adapter. You can put that into your house whichever way you want. It's also waterproof. Obviously, the end attachment is not where it plugs into the power supply, so don't leave that outside. But a very, very simple setup, as you can see with mine above. All right, so once you're up and running, 24 hours later, you will start to see some data. So we are over here looking at some random person in Sydney's hex. This is all publicly available information, and we can see their hex coverage. So all of these hexes don't mean that they own this hex in particular. They are in one of these bubbles in here in the middle, but this is how far their Wingbits unit can see. So it's up to 250 nautical miles are the specs, if I'm not mistaken. And this person obviously has a really good line of sight. They're anywhere from number 1 to 3 in all of their hex areas. Oh, not so good up the sort of north end there, but that is at the very furthest distance away from them. So this is the type of setup you'd want. This person is obviously in an ideal location, so their topography is really good. They don't have a lot of hills or mountains around them, and they're probably sitting up on one of those hills, in fact, to get this sort of coverage. We can see how many messages they're receiving. This is relaying between the aircraft back and forth, over 1 million messages in one hex. They're absolutely wild. And their 7-day tracking, making about 240 wings a day for 1,633 wing tokens a week. So this person's just cruising along. So let's maybe try and find another one and compare it here. You know, so this person, right, for example, obviously doesn't have very good coverage out to the west. There must be a bunch of houses, maybe high-rise buildings or something blocking that off. They can see plenty to the east, but nothing to the west, and hence, you know, less than half the amount of rewards. So location and height is really, really important when you're looking at this Wingbits. So one of the things you can do in the Wingbits operating system is you can track the actual flights yourself. So all of this data that you're sending out, you can see, right? So on the right here, and I have zoomed out a little bit, so, you know, nobody knows exactly where I live. But here are all the planes that are in my area, for example, or overhead within 250 miles of my location. So we click on one of these and we look on the left. Now, it might be a little hard for you to see. We have zoomed out, but we've got ground speed, we've got the message rate, we've got the wind, altitude, direction, pretty much everything. We've even got stuff, right? Whatever that entails. We've got the accuracy, and we've also got distances, right? So you can see how far away some of these are at the moment. At the moment, the furthest plane I'm tracking is 143 nautical miles away. So this thing has got a really, really long range, and it's really cool to see this sort of stuff like actually represented, right? Because it's all well and good to say, hey, we're tracking the skies, we're sending all this data, but we can see all the information that we're actually sending right here. So really, really cool in my opinion. So my rewards for the past 7 days are at 754. But I wanted to show you this graph to give you the visual representation of how the different locations and heights line of sights work. So on the first day, on April the 11th, when I set this up, I had it pretty much on my roof line, and there are a couple of houses around me that are a little bit higher. So, you know, sort of reducing that visual angle that I can get. Day 2, I moved it up about a meter and a half, or about 5 feet, to get a little bit higher above my roof line. We made about a 50% improvement in rewards. And then again, about another 5 feet again to get well over my roof line and improve that line of sight over the other houses. And we went up another, what's that, 80, another 40 again, so another 50%. So you can really see the increase, with that line of sight. So location and line of sight is everything with this. So I could expect to maybe get, 900 or so wing tokens over the next 7 days. So I'm pretty happy with that. It'd be nice to hit 1,000, but you can't win them all. So a little more detailed look on how the rewards work. We won't go through the exact reward formula because I don't know about you guys, but all this sort of stuff gets my head spinning a little bit. I just want the summary. So the broader your station's coverage, the more coverage hexes, as we saw on that map, you will reach, and thus the more rewards you can earn. If your station covers 7 hexagons, you will earn the rewards for all 7 hexagons, and so on and so forth, based on how early you are to track that information. So it's not one size fits all. You will all be sharing hexagons, but depending on who's got the better line of sight and range, they will get the base reward or the most rewards right for that hex for that plane tracked. If we scroll down, it gives us a little bit more of the basics, the layman's terms. So the data points currently submitted to Wingbits are limited to both ground and airborne positional ADSB messages. Each coverage hex distributes 2.4 wing tokens proportionally between all stations covering the hex. So there's a couple of bonuses also. So the performance bonus rewards. So each hex contains a total daily amount of 2.4 bonus wings. The bonus reward will be distributed proportionally to the top 5 stations. So if you're in that top 5, you get a bonus reward. There's also early participant rewards as well. So all hexagons on the map offer the same amount of rewards. The early participant tokens will decline 20% year over year until year 16. So a long way down in the future. There's also a performance bonus reward. So that's for uptime and things like that. The longer you're up, the longer you stay online, you get more rewards. So long story short, the longer uptime that you have, the more hexes that you cover, and the earlier you get into this, the more you're going to earn long term. So be early, get this thing up nice and high and stay consistent, and you'll be laughing. Now, if you do want to grab yourself one of these, you've done your research, you're ready to invest a little in it and take the risk, obviously, you can grab them over here on Helium Deploy. This is the unit itself. It comes with this little unit. It's got a little metal rod and of course, all the cabling. So if you wanted to grab one, Helium Deploy has them, and you can use my discount code BearMarketMiner and save yourself 50 bucks. They come out to 445 USD. So it's a bit of money to spend, but depending on the price of this token, it could really be worth it in the long run. Considering it's so easy, it's set up once and leave it. That's what I love about these plug and play DePIN things. There's no tinkering. Once they're up, they're up. That is going to wrap it up, guys. Let me know what you think about this Wingbits WB200. I think they're pretty cool. Have a real use case, set and forget. So that's what I really like about this stuff. These days, I'm trying to get things that are easier, not harder, and require less maintenance, and have real world use case, right? So hopefully when that token price releases, it can actually be worth something and we can make a little bit of money out of this. So let me know your thoughts, guys, down in the comments. Interested to hear what you think. Make sure you hit that like button, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.